Bonjour French 203 students, bienvenue au vidéo 3 du chapitre 7. So welcome to video 3 of chapter 7. On va parler des verbes réfléchis au présent. So as you can probably determine from that title, we're going to be talking about reflexive verbs in the present. So great, we're just going to be talking about the present tense for now. We're not going to be getting into past or future or any of the other tenses just yet. Okay. Alors, je me lave les mains. Je me lave. Me. Okay? I am washing my hands. So in English, when we talk about reflexive actions like that, we often use possessive pronouns like my or her or yours. We might use a pronoun with self attached to it, like I do that to myself or you do that to yourself. In French and other languages like Spanish and Italian, there are reflexive verbs that insert a pronoun before the verb. So you can see in the second non-reflexive example, let me move myself down here a little bit. Je lave la voiture. So this woman is directly washing the car. She's washing an object that's separate from herself. So we don't need me in front of lave because la voiture is the object of the washing. Je lave la voiture. In the case of the first example, je me lave les mains. Je me lave, okay, I'm basically washing a body part of myself, and then that body part happens to be my hands. And they're almost, in a way, separate from yourself in terms of the grammar of the sentence. Je me lave les mains. Okay, I'm washing my hands. The idea is the same as saying I'm washing my hands in English, but the word order is a little bit different. Okay, so how do we put together these reflexive verbs in the present? Okay, we can look at l'infinitif. Okay, so what is l'infinitif? The infinitive of a verb. It's basically the unconjugated form of a verb. Se laver. Okay, so that's the form before we transform it to be in any other person. So I can say je me lave. Okay, I wash something of myself. Tu te laves, you wash. Il, elle, on se lave. So he, she, or on can be one, or it can refer to people in general. It can often mean we as well. Nous nous lavons, we wash ourselves. Vous vous lavez, you wash yourself, either formal or a group of people. Il se lave, elle se lave. So they, either masculine or feminine or a mixed group, wash themselves in some way. What if I want to say this in the negative form? So in that case, I need to take ne pas and I'm going to surround it or basically put it before and after that conjugated verb. So je ne me lave pas. Tu ne te laves pas. Il ne se lave pas. And often when people are speaking quickly, the ne kind of almost gets swallowed. Je ne me lave pas. Tu ne te laves pas. Il ne se lave pas. Okay, so you can kind of see where that's going. Nous ne nous lavons pas. Vous ne vous lavez pas. Il ne se lave pas. Okay, so that's how we would negate a reflexive verb in the present. If we're using a verb where we have a vowel sound at the beginning of that verb, like s'habiller, to dress yourself, we're going to drop the vowel of that pronoun that comes before it. So, je m'habille, tu t'habilles, elle s'habille, or il s'habille. Okay. So we can also see that there are many ways that you can talk about your daily life using these reflexive verbs. On peut parler de beaucoup de choses avec ces verbes réfléchis au présent. So we can basically talk about many topics. Okay, so I can say je m'amuse avec mes enfants. So I have fun with my children. Je m'appelle Madame Rojas. My name is Mrs. Rojas. Je me brosse les dents chaque matin. Oh, I brush my teeth every morning. Et je me couche le soir. So I go to sleep in the evening. Je m'endors quand je suis fatiguée. So I fall asleep when I'm tired. Okay, so there are many different activities that I can talk about with these verbs. So we'll take a few moments here. I'm going to ask you some questions using these verbs, and I want you to either type back to me or you can say back to me in the interactions what you do, whether you do or you do not do these things. Okay. And we'll move on to look at a couple of other verbs here. So the verb s'endormir is conjugated just like dormir. So je m'endors, tu t'endors, il, elle, on s'endort, nous nous endormons. Notice the liaison between nous and endormons. Vous vous endormez, another liaison. Il, elle s'endorment. And this looks exactly like the verb dormir. The only difference is we're adding en to the beginning, which shows that you're falling asleep. A verb like s'ennuyer, okay, to be bored or to get bored. Notice the spelling change. The Y changes to an I. So, je m'ennuie, okay, a very common thing to say. We've probably all said this during the pandemic at some point. Oh, je m'ennuie. C'est très ennuyeux. It's very boring. Tu t'ennuies. Il s'ennuie. Elle, on s'ennuie. Or nous nous ennuyons. Vous vous ennuyez. Il or elle s'ennuie. Okay, so those are a couple of other reflexive verbs that are useful as well. And finally, when you're using verbs like se lever, to get up, you'll notice that there is a spelling change with the accent mark. So, je me lève, the E gets an accent. Tu te lèves, il se lève, and then finally the plural form, il ou elle se lève, also has an accent mark. With a verb like appeler, s'appeler, when you conjugate this, notice the kind of the L pattern, that the single L changes to a double L. Okay, so instead of saying, instead of having the single L, we'll just have two L's. Je m'appelle Madame Rojas. Tu t'appelles? Okay, and so here I might ask you, or I will ask you, a couple of questions using the verb se lever and s'appeler. Okay, so that is kind of a quick overview of les verbes réfléchis au présent, and these will be very useful for talking about different aspects of your daily life. Salut!